Hello, hi, welcome to this week's True Crime live stream. If you're new here, hello, I'm FEARSONA, and you can call me Sona. I'm your friendly neighborhood True Crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills, and here to talk about a certain syndrome that maybe not many of you know of. Okay. Before we begin, I just wanted to give you guys some updates on like what's going on, what's gonna happen next week, what was happening before, you know, that kind of things. And also, hi, I wanted to say hi to the chat. Hello, hi, wait, I see some new faces. Oh, Ducky Noodles, it's been a while. I see some new faces. Marco, hello. Loki Argai, hi. Lilith Abyss, hello. And Demon Taker, and the John Active, and Ketsuya, and Renfield97, IDK Bacon, and Eric Verastigi, thank you so much for modding the stream. Brian Garza, hello. Chris Chris Papillonum? I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Is it Papillonum? Like the you know, I mean, it's gonna sound bad, but like the dog breed, like Papillon? Is that how I read it? If not, I'm sorry. Okay, and Bubbles. Oh, hi, Bubbles. And Celera, hi, hello, welcome. Arnell, hello, and Eternal Reward Enjoyer, hello, hi, how's it going? Jamie Perchenig, hi, and then Faye Alexis, hello, Alberto, hi, hola Sona, how are you? I'm good. I'm ready to, you know, dive into this case in a minute. And Fallow, hi, and Mac, and wait, Frigan Grau? Morning, hi. I don't know, good morning, good evening, depending on like where you are, I guess, in the world. Piano Wire, hi! Oh, it's been a while. Darkest Monkey, hello. And Undead Rabbit, hello. And who else? Canned Soup. Oh, I love that user. I love that username, it's just Canned Soup. Sup. Sup, Soup. And JT, just discovered you a few days ago, first time catching you live. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you could catch the stream live, and I hope you enjoy this video, this stream. And I hope you enjoy my other videos. Shy, hello, hi. Thank you so much for modding the stream. I forgot there was a stream. Apologies. No worries. It's okay. It's okay, but you're here. And who else is here? Jay the Real McCoy, hi. Hi, how's it going? And Bubbles, ever since I found you, I stopped getting your ads. Now I just get ads for Uber Eats. Aw, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're not getting my ads. Well, maybe you'll like encounter it, because I'm gonna have new ads. I'm gonna have like, you know, a new video, so there's a chance. Chief Spartan, hi. Sona, this game is ended as the stream start. Oh, what? This game is ended as the stream started. Sure. Good day, everyone. Please read the rules and be respectful. Yeah, so says Shy. So please do abide by the rules. Read the chat rules and just, you know, follow them. Otherwise, you're gonna get bonked. Bocce Shrimp, hi. Hey, I'm a big fan. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you have a good time here. Nectar Shines, hello. Is this McDonald's drive-thru? Sir, this is a Wendy's. I actually look kind of like Wendy, sort of. Well, I mean, if I had pigtails, I guess. But yeah, okay, so today we're talking about, today it's kind of like borderline between true crime and oh my god, I have to show it to you. I don't know if I should show the things that I wanted to show at the beginning. I could show it at the beginning, but let me just say it. So today's stream and case is kind of between true crime and conspiracy, sort of, because it is a weird phenomenon that happened a few years ago, and no one can explain it, and it's kind of suspicious, but it's also kind of true crimey. So, you know, like, let's say today's episode is between True Crime VTuber stream and Conspiracy Chronicles stream. Ducky Noodles, I also found Sona through an ads. I'm a sucker from true crimes and paranormal, so the ad instantly had my attention. I am glad to hear that. I definitely I would say recently, because I started Cryptid Files and I started Conspiracy Chronicles, and I was like diving more into those like weird cases, I kind of like those more, I have to say. Like, you know, compared to true crime. I guess because, okay, no, I mean, I still like to talk about true crime because I think it's, you know, it's important to get some of the cases, like just keep them relevant and keep them on the front page and keep people, you know, interested in those cases, because that's how the investigations go on. You know, that's how those cases do not like get kind of tossed into the corner. But recently, because like, you know, those true like conspiracy cases or conspiracy theories or cryptid files, like the cryptids, they're not that depressing, you know. Like I do get a little depressed whenever I have to talk about research and like talk about a very gruesome case where a lot of people died. Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. So it does somewhat affect me. So I welcome the conspiracy cases and cryptids because it's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more on the lighthearted side, and usually there's not like it's not that gruesome. And Aaron, I think I found you because I was curious if there were any true crime VTubers out there. Hey, that's great. I love that you guys found me in many different ways. Well, I mean, many of you found me through an ad, but like, I like the fact that people are looking up true crime VTuber because, well, I mean, one, because I'm the first one that shows up, because I think I'm the only one, or like the first one. Well, at least the first very committed, legit one. Because I think there was like, I think I found a couple of other people, maybe like one or two other people, but it's just like PNG. It's either PNG tuber or like, yeah, there was like, I think there was like a VTuber. I'm not sure, but they had like, the last video was like a couple of years ago. So I assume, well, I mean, I imagine they just like stopped. But I think I show up on the top of the list. So that was my goal, you know, that's my goal, to show up at the very, like as the very first search. I think if you Google, wait, is that possible? Wait a minute. Okay, let me just type in true crime VTuber just in Google. True crime VTuber. Haha! I'm the first Google search. Yep. The first, second, third, fourth. Yep. Yeah, if you type in true crime VTuber, it's just me. Well, I mean, at least for me. At least for me. I don't know how it is for you guys. Okay, before we begin, I also wanted to thank, yes. Before we begin the case, I wanted to say special thanks, give credits to my Patreon members for supporting my channel. So thank you so much, you guys, for, you know, supporting my channel and being there for all the Patreon streams and events. So let me just list out all my Patreon members. Colonel Turtle, Tyrant Kitsune, Scholastica, CW, Esau004, IDK Bacon 53, Rudel Genoodle, Winstorm555, Ian, Bubak, Hail Mary, Leonovsky, Kanta, Gon Puppy, Brandon S, Christopher McCanns, Anne Wen, Hopeful Space Pitaco, Bright Slab, Arbiter of the Twin Goddesses, Game Leader, Lost Nemesis, Pistol Disco, Chris KFP, Feather Combergwak, I think. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. DMJ, also because this username always makes me like laugh. It's so long, it's so funny. DMJ 2004, Mr. Ridgeway, Anthony Vivenzio, Silverjack, Chris, Imyth, Christopher Holgate, Nicholas Holly, The John Active, Ketsuya, Forgotten Wraith, General Grievous, Eric Verastegi, Con Wigloff, and Shai Shai, and Julie, and John Paul Marbella, and Bikoto Gagne, I guess. Yeah, Biko is here, yay! And Aaron, thank you so much, you guys, for supporting the channel and, you know, like subscribing to Patreon and just being there to hang out with me on those bonus streams. So yeah, again, if you're interested in like some bonus content, we did talk about, like, yesterday we had a stream and we had a true crime stream because I had, well, kind of last minute change. It was supposed to be Morbid History stream yesterday, but nice to hear my name in some form. Renfield, yay! Well, Nicholas / Renfield. You would be remembered as the first VTuber to ever cover true crime in YouTube history, and a good one at that. Aww, Alberto! I'm gonna get emotional. Okay, so, I mean, I hope so. I hope I'm doing a decent job. I know that there's room for improvement always, so I'm gonna try my best to, you know, to just do my best and improve it. Kitsuya, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. Okay, so I was gonna say, yesterday we had a kind of last minute true crime stream. That's why it was like true crime news review, sort of. It was supposed to be morbid history, but there was a huge development in the Long Island serial killer case / Gilgo Beach murders, because they finally arrested a suspect, and I was talking about that, you know, and this motherfucker, oh my god, I was so pissed. We were so pissed in that stream. We were so pissed. Everyone was like so pissed when I was reading the articles and just talking about it. Do not translate 5019 to French. Do not. I will not. I wouldn't even know how to translate it. I just hashed my second shiny Fennekin. Great. Good luck. I mean, supporting Sona gives you shiny luck. Oh, so happy, right? So happy right now. Remember, supporting Sona gives you shiny luck. Luck. Subscribe, donos does not guarantee actually shiny luck. Oh, see, you know, going to Patreon and subscribing to my Patreon just gives you eternal youth, health, and luck, and everything else. It's like the Mothman's butt, you know? When you subscribe to Patreon, it's as if you were rubbing Mothman's butt cheek. That's how powerful it is. I'm just saying. Okay, you guys, I think it's time. I think it's okay. So next week, well, this week, this is my last stream this week. I will be taking a few days, you know, like 1 or 2 days off. Well, off from streams, but I will be working offline. So I'll be doing research for the next week. And yeah, we'll see what I'm gonna do. I think there's gonna be another V stream next week, possibly. And then some, well, I mean, next week we have, I think it's gonna be Conspiracy Chronicles about a certain formula that may or may not, or I mean, it's rumored to give you eternal life. So I think some of you guys might actually like guess what's the next case gonna be. It's about a certain secret formula that might give you eternal life, immortality, if you will. And that's because you have to drink something weird, or I mean eat something weird, or cook something weird and then eat it. No! Yes, that's okay, Sona. Take your time researching. Yeah. So I'm gonna take a few days to do my research, and then I'm gonna come back with a Krabby Patty formula. No, something a little bit more, something a little weirder, something a little bit more, well, I mean, spicy. Not spicy, but oh no, not the piss, Sona. Yes, the piss. Yeah, the piss stone. You'll see. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's the only way I can describe it. A piss stone. And you will see why. And I mean, that tells you a lot, but I'm gonna explain during the stream. Okay. Okay, I think it's time to switch, and we can let's get into the case. Okay, you guys are ready? So, let's begin. What if I told you that there exists an invisible enemy that could attack you at any moment of the day, virtually anywhere you go? How can we defend ourselves from something we can't even see or feel? Here's the deal. Because you may not know this, but a few years ago, invisible attacks were messing with US diplomats. No, this is not a joke. It really happened. Some describe it as a sonic attack, an invisible force penetrating the walls of their residencies and seemingly targeting them with malicious intent. Others remain skeptical, citing alternative explanations such as mass hysteria or even technological malfunctions. Have you ever thought about what pure fear sounds like? There are hundreds of US diplomats and officials who can tell you because they all heard it. In 2016, more than half of the American staff were pulled from the embassy in Havana, Cuba, because they were suffering health attacks that caused minor brain injuries. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. So the victims were suffering a whole range of symptoms, including ear pain, headaches, hearing loss, vertigo, dizziness, nausea, disorientation, blurred vision, nosebleeds, and fatigue. These symptoms are known as Havana Syndrome, and new incidents are still being reported to this day, except they're not just happening in Cuba anymore. Incidents have been reported in Russia, China, the US, and more recently Austria, Germany, and Vietnam. Around 200 incidents of Havana Syndrome have now been reported around the world, with many requiring hospitalization treatments. But what causes Havana Syndrome to begin with? That still to this day remains a mystery. So it all began in the US Embassy in Havana, Cuba. The embassy had just opened. Oh, why is this? Okay, never mind. I think I messed up my... Did I mess up my slides? Probably. I messed up my slides. Never mind. Okay. So I'm just gonna talk about it like this. Okay, so it all began again. So this is actually the embassy. So it all began in the US Embassy in Havana, Cuba. The embassy had just opened in 2015, which was a historic moment since the US did not have diplomatic relations with Cuba since 1961. However, in December 2016, just a year after the embassy reopened, a CIA station agent in Havana started complaining about some really weird symptoms after hearing a strange noise. The man, now known as Patient Zero, described the noise as a blaring, jolting, agonizing sound. After hearing the bizarre noise, the agent said that he started to develop ear pain, headaches, fatigue, dizziness, and nausea. So again, the symptoms of the Havana Syndrome. He wasn't the only one. The other agents stationed in Cuba were also experiencing the same thing. When word of this reached the head agent in Cuba, he immediately called a meeting with senior staff. He told them about the weird noises that were making people feel sick. More and more started to report also feeling unwell. In some, the symptoms were sometimes temporary and not too bad, but in others, they were consistent and severe. Also, JT, thank you so much for joining channel memberships. Welcome to Even Angrier Mob. It's a coop of cockroaches. Also, okay, pause, because I need to address something. Why did no one tell me that it's pronounced a coup? Not a coop. In my last stream, this was not intentional, by the way, because my friends watched my stream and they were just like, afterwards, just recently, yesterday, literally yesterday, they told me, yeah, by the way, why are you pronouncing it a coop? Like, do you mean a coop of chickens? I'm like, what? What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, it's pronounced coup. I'm like, oh shit! And they're like, what? Like, you didn't know? They were like, oh, this was so cute. It was so cute how you were pronouncing it a coop. And I'm like, what? This is not how it's pronounced? And everyone was just like, no. I'm like, what? But it's a coop. I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is it. And they told me, I said, I'm like, thank you. This is why I'm not gonna sleep tonight, because I'm gonna be thinking about how I said it's a coup, thinking about a coup. Fuck the French. That's one. Well, not the French. Fuck French language, because it comes from French. Apparently, it was a sonaism. Yeah, and I kept pronouncing it as a coup. So from now on, it's a coup. This was not intentional, by the way. I legitimately thought it's called a coup and not a coup. Oh well. I mean, you know, something to keep me up at night and you know, think about. I don't know. Years from now, I'm gonna just, you know, go about my day. I'll be going about my day, and suddenly going to bed, and my brain is gonna be like, hey, remember that time? Remember that time when you just, you know, pronounced coup as a coup? Well, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it from now on, so it's a coupe. How dare your friends educate our wife? No, I mean, it's fine. It's just, yeah, it's just, I was just like, what? I was just kind of like, what? Wait, it's not a coupe? It's a coupe? Ah, there we are. There we all, what? We all have wrong lyrics pronounced something for a while. Yeah, it's okay. Something to keep you up at night for years to come. Yes, indeed. It's okay, it's a coupe. Now, from now on, I'm gonna be pronouncing it as a coupe. I don't care. It's a coupe. Forever a coupe. Okay. Okay, because I have to get back to the case. Okay, so as I was saying, like, a lot of US officials were experiencing the same symptoms at the same time in Havana, Cuba, in the US embassy. And they were reporting very consistent symptoms. Some of them were treatable, just temporary. Some of them were severe and long lasting. So the patients were sent to the University of Pennsylvania to be examined. And the examiner stated that it seemed like concussion symptoms, but without the head impact. And that is called a condition that is sometimes referred to as an immaculate concussion, not concoction. An immaculate concussion. Also, IDK Bacon, it was cute. 1, it was cute. 2, you didn't ask us how to pronounce it, so I mean, yeah, I didn't. It's a coupe. From now on, it's a coupe. Okay, so as I said, this condition is sometimes referred to as an immaculate concussion. Some reported hearing sounds, while others reported hearing no sound. However, even those who said they heard this bizarre sound described it in various ways. The description of the sound ranged between a high-pitched cicada-like sound to low-pitched humming. And all of them reported the sound to be very painful. The examiner discovered that the patients had sustained brain injuries. This was to the point of brain injuries, some of them so serious that it left the patients permanently disabled. So that is a scary thing to experience. That's why I said at the beginning of the stream, like at the beginning of the case, that these people described it as fear itself. Like the sound was so bad that it could only be described as fear, pure fear. This is how fear sounds like. So one such case was actually this man, a former employee of the US Embassy in Cuba who appeared on the CBS news program 60 Minutes. And he actually asked to be unnamed. That's why I just labeled it as unnamed officer. So back in 2016, he started hearing strange noises in the night. At first, the noise just caused his dogs to become very agitated and bark constantly, but then the noises got so loud that he felt like his head was, quote, slowly starting to get crushed, end quote. The man actually was able to record the sound in his home, and we're gonna listen to it now. Give me just a moment. I just have to, okay, I think I have, sorry, I forgot to like put it in the, I think you will be able to hear it. Wait. You were probably able to hear it, but I want to regulate it a little bit. Just a second, please. Sorry for the... Okay, so I do have... Volume is all the way down. Is it? Wait, okay. So this is... Actually, let me just... You know what? Let me just kind of turn off the music so that you guys can actually hear it a little bit more. Okay. Nope. Oh, why is it not working? Wait. Okay. Oh, wait, that's the sound. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like it was this high-pitched, I would say it's cicada. Like I would, you know, to me it just kind of sounds like cicada, but I don't know. Like he thought it was weird. Wait, it sounds like a plane engine a little bit. Nice to meet you. Hi, Azeth. Sona, what? Rosa. Yeah, I know. It was error. Sounds like something from the Evil Within 2, looking into the mirror cutscene. Kind of. To me, it sounds like I don't know, like a noise between cicada and something like, oh, the kind of noise from like a device. It does sound like a noise from a device, but like something weird. Why does it sound like crickets or a cicada? Yeah, to me it sounds more like a cicada, but I don't know, like it's, yeah. Okay. So we listened to the sound. Sounds like a swarm of bugs. Kind of, right? Okay, so the sound is kind of a high-pitched noise, very similar to the sound of cicadas, right? That's pretty much what the impression that I got. Then he said that the pain started. A pain in his ear. Good thing that we listened to it like just a little bit, not too much. Because clearly we could have died. Okay. Very smart of me to play it on stream. So then the pain started. A pain in his ear that was so intense that he would say that he'd never experienced something like this before, anything like this before. This is how he described the feeling. Quote, I liken it to if you put a Q-tip too far and you bounce it off your eardrum. Well, imagine taking a sharp pencil and just kind of poking that. It was very jarring and painful. And eventually, I started blacking out. End quote. So, whatever caused this intense pain to the man, it had serious and permanent consequences. The injuries to his brain caused him to be pretty much disabled. He became unable to keep his balance and he needed to use a weighted vest to stand upright. And he also became legally blind in one eye and he was given a service dog to help walk around. And this man was eventually virtually forced to retire at the young age of 36. The effects of the so-called Havana Syndrome on US diplomatic staff and family members were so serious that it could no longer be seen as isolated incident. The US government was torn on how they should respond and kept quiet about the mysterious illness for many, many months. Finally, in August 2017, the US government formally admitted to the existence of the Havana Syndrome. By that time, the number of victims in Cuba had risen to 21 and included not only Americans but also Canadian diplomatic staff as well. Officially, the US government gave very, very few details about the illness and provided no conclusions about what or who was responsible. US State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert, I think that's how you pronounce it, I apologize. So Heather Nauert said during a press conference that US government personnel in Havana had simply experienced some, quote, physical symptoms, end quote, and said that they didn't have any definitive answers about the source or cause of the incident. However, the US government unofficially had some initial theories. They suspected that the mysterious illnesses were caused by some kind of attack using an unknown energy source associated with auditory and sensory phenomena. So it's an alien sonic weapon. I mean, no, I'm just pulling your leg. No, I mean, yeah, pretty much, but not alien. They thought it was human weapon. Okay, so at the young age of 36, how long do CIA agents have to work? Well, I mean, I would say CIA agents just work the same as any person. If they're not injured, if they can work, then they just work till retirement age. What, 60, 65, 60? I don't know, 60? What did I join into? Well, I mean, a lot. You joined into the Havana Syndrome craze. Okay, so as I said, the suspicion was that the illness Havana Syndrome was caused by some kind of attack using an energy source coming from like auditory and sensory phenomena. Government officials also suspected that the Cuban government may have been involved, prompting the U.S. State Department to expel 2 Cuban diplomats from the United States. Eventually, most of the U.S. diplomatic staff were removed from Cuba to avoid further incidents. But unfortunately, that was not the end of it. After the initial cases in Havana, more and more attacks began to be reported, this time outside of Cuba. More than 200 people were reported having Havana Syndrome in several countries around the world, including Russia, China, Australia, the UK, Germany, Austria, Poland. Hey, what the heck? Okay, I didn't know that. I've kind of forgot about it. No, I'm kidding. I was reading these notes, but I was just like, I forgot that Poland was on that list. Oh yeah, there was stuff. Poland fell a victim. All right. But wait, there's more. Yeah. So as I said, okay, Poland, Serbia, Georgia, Colombia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and even Taiwan. Hey, yeah, I'm in Taiwan too, so maybe it follows me. No, never mind. I've never been to some of those countries. Okay, what am I talking about? So people affected by the illness were mainly CIA, US military, and State Department personnel and family members. So clearly this was a very specifically directed attack. Like no one else was experiencing this. It was just US diplomats, staff, you know, employees of US embassies. And their family members, mind you. So similar to the original cases in Cuba, they also reported hearing unusual piercing sounds like the one that I played you, and experienced headaches, brain injuries, and various symptoms. Even with all these cases, the US government still couldn't definitively pinpoint the cause. Many people started to accuse the US government of being complacent and not taking the situation as seriously and urgently as they should have. But in 2019, the case of Havana Syndrome took a turn, which made it impossible for the government to ignore any longer. That's because the Havana Syndrome attacks started to happen in the United States, within the United States itself, and in the most important location for the US government, the White House. So one of the cases of the Havana Syndrome in the White House was Olivia Troy, a security and counterterrorism advisor to former Vice President Mike Pence. She was working in the Eisenhower Executive Office building next to the White House's West Wing. In the summer of 2019, Olivia Troy was walking down the front steps of the Eisenhower building and was headed towards the White House when suddenly she felt a sharp, piercing sensation inside of her head. She began to experience vertigo, felt nauseous and disoriented, and started to lose her balance and almost fell down the stairs. At that point, she had never experienced something like that before, like this before, and she hadn't had any pre-existing conditions that would cause such a reaction, so she didn't know what was happening. And it wasn't a one-time incident, because the same thing happened again and again, you know, a year later when Troy was in the area of the White House and walking to her car. So again, she experienced it multiple times. Sometime later, a senior member of the US National Security Council also reported experiencing similar symptoms on the same steps in which Troy was allegedly attacked. The official was, disoriented. He felt ringing in their ears and was unable to speak or think clearly. So again, it was happening. So they both were examined in the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, and it was confirmed that the symptoms were not related to any pre-existing conditions that they might have had. They didn't. Moreover, that second case, right? The official was actually diagnosed with 2 new medical conditions that were caused by the mysterious attack. So he developed them after he experienced the Havana Syndrome. Sona made the weapon. I didn't. Okay, if the US government is listening to this stream, please don't arrest me. I didn't do it. I just played the sound. This was not my recording, okay? This is not my fault. Just for, for clarity sake. Okay, so these 2 incidents were very troubling to the US authorities. Both incidents happened within the security perimeter of the White House, an area which is literally covered with Secret Service agents. Mind you, these places where the incidents happened are places where the United States president would sometimes pass by. So if this was any kind of attack on US government officials, it was literally becoming a threat to the United States president. Soon, several other incidents were being reported in the White House and in the Washington, D.C. area in general. There were even very senior members of the government, including high-level officers of the Trump administration, who were reported to have symptoms similar to the Havana Syndrome. The situation was no longer a strange phenomenon happening in US embassies only. It was becoming a direct threat to US national security and at the highest level. So very concerning. With the stakes getting higher and higher, the CIA has begun to, conduct a deep investigation into the growing number of Havana Syndrome cases. At one point, they received over 1,000 incidents, 1,000 reports, reported incidents from various sources. After a thorough investigation, while most of the cases were dismissed as being caused by other known factors such as stress or other pre-existing conditions, apparently there are still around 24 cases which the CIA still cannot give any explanation for. So here's the question: what actually caused these people to start experiencing these bizarre symptoms? That remains unknown. But there are 7 chilling theories that have since been considered, and I'm gonna go over those theories. That's a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. Sona is covering it up. She did make the way. I didn't, okay? CIA, FBI, whoever is listening from the US government, I have nothing to do with it. I'm just here to report, okay? I am just reporting. I am innocent. It's a coup. Oh, God. Okay. I can't believe I'm still I pronounced it the wrong way, but oh well, it's a coup. From now on, this word is gonna be pronounced as a coup. Chicken coup, cockroach coup, whatever. It's a coup. How can someone make an invisible weapon? Well, not exactly. Okay, I'm gonna go over the theories because that's gonna explain a lot. Okay, so the first theory is that the Havana Syndrome was caused by some kind of sonic or ultrasonic weapon. When the FBI first investigated the initial, incidences of Havana Syndrome in Cuba, they considered that it might be caused by an acoustic attack and speculated that some sort of sound waves were being used. Now, when you hear sonic or ultrasonic weapons, it might sound like science fiction or something you see in games or movies, but technically, these kinds of weapons do actually exist. For example, there is something called a long-range acoustic device, also known as a sound cannon, which is used by the US Navy, law enforcement, Coast Guard, and even fire departments. Essentially, sonic and ultrasonic weapons use focused beam of sound or ultrasound to incapacitate a person, and people who are hit by the sound waves can experience nausea or discomfort, similar to the symptoms experienced by the Havana Syndrome victims. Wait a minute, because this kind of reminds me of something. This is exactly the type of sound I was always hearing. I always heard whenever I would go to, when I lived in Tokyo and I would go to Shibuya in Tokyo. You mean to tell me that these motherfuckers at Seibu department store are using military grade weapon because they don't like people walking by or making loitering, like maybe loitering around. I am officially absolutely, no, okay. I am officially absolutely disgusted by this malicious behavior. Also slightly impressed because it's a pretty dope evil plan to mess with unsuspecting passersby, but mostly disgusted. It's a coup. That is my official statement. Seibu department store, fuck you. Officially. Anyway. Everyone's like, yes! Smaller versions of these weapons were also used against BLM protesters from what I heard. Oh, it might be the same device. Like, oh, the device that makes this weird sound that only certain people hear. Like, not everyone hears. Like, not everyone can hear it. Sona admitted to loitering. I'm not. I was just passing by, but I could hear this sound. So I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is terrible. You know, I am enraged, but slightly impressed because that's fucking evil. That's a sophisticated villainous plan. You know. Sound cannons. Sound cannons are amps, you guys. What the fuck? I was actually going to say those mad lads, but I guess that works too. Kind of. Fierce defense. It's a coup. It's a coup. Let me correct myself. I was looking up if sound can kill and found that anything above 185 decibels for an extended period of time is deadly. I have too much free time at work. But no, I think it's makes sense, right? Like it is a weapon. It does exist. Okay. So, but going back to the case. So, yes, this weapon could cause symptoms that are similar to the Havana Syndrome victims. However, when the FBI checked the areas where the alleged attacks happened in Havana, including the places where the victims were staying, they found no evidence that such devices were ever being used. Police in Germany are also trying to investigate this theory of an alleged, quote, alleged sonic weapon attack, end quote, against the staff of the US Embassy in Berlin in 2021. So that's very recent. However, there are some downsides to this theory. For example, doctors have pointed out that while sonic and ultrasonic weapons do cause similar symptoms as the Havana Syndrome, the sound is not known to damage the brain like this severely, which is what happened to many of the Havana Syndrome victims. Despite this, the authorities are still considering this as a viable theory and continue to investigate it. But yeah, again, like this weapon did not, like if this weapon would be used, it wouldn't have, had it been used, it wouldn't have caused, severe damage, brain damage in some of the victims. Okay. So the next theory is that the Havana Syndrome was caused by electromagnetic energy or ultrasound waves. In February 2022, a report by US intelligence, oh sorry, this is not it. I have to okay, that's the next slide. Okay, so in February 2022, a report by US intelligence officials suggested that Havana Syndrome could potentially be caused by a sophisticated device utilizing pulsed electromagnetic hard things to pronounce. Okay, so US officials suggested that Havana Syndrome could potentially be caused by a sophisticated device utilizing pulsed electromagnetic energy, which is essentially a focused beam of microwaves shot from a distance. It is official, okay? It's official. Microwaves are the Judgment Day weapon. They tried to warn us. Our parents tried to warn us. Holy shit! I don't know if your parents did it. I don't actually know if your parents did it, but my mom, when we got a microwave, my mom would start spitting hellfire if I stood in front of the microwave. I kid you not. I would put something inside to heat it up, and the moment I turned it on, this woman would scream at me to get away, run, ideally wrap myself in lead armor and pray, because like it was going to be some sort of nuclear explosion. Kaboom. As if the microwave was for sure gonna start blasting uranium. That's what happened. Microwave gone. Well, if you look at it, wait, okay. Aoi Kazuma said, well, if you look at it, even the snapping shrimp uses sound from its snap to knock out its prey. So in a macro scale, it's kind of scary. It is kind of scary. Love that microwave. It's a god to me. Yeah, but also, did your parents, like, you know, did you guys have the same experience? Like your parents would be like, don't stand in front of the microwave. It's gonna kill you. Like it's gonna cancer. And I'm like, oh my god. I kid you not, like my mom would just like start screaming and yelling at me to like fucking like go into a bunker when the microwave is working, when it's heating it up. And I'm like, you do realize that I'm gonna open this microwave. It's not like, oh, if it's like releasing some cancer causing beam, it's not like it's gonna stop. My food is gonna be loaded with it. So there's no point in like hiding or not standing in front of the microwave. No, my parents were normal. I don't have a microwave. Nope. What? What did your parents? Okay, maybe like only Polish people can relate, because my mom definitely, like a couple of my mom and like my friends' moms, or you know, parents, just parents in general, they would just like scream at them to not stand in front of the microwave. They'd be like, "Don't stand in front of it. It's gonna cause cancer." My mom told me not to stare at it. Right? This was, oh my god. Okay. Ridiculous. Magic seal microwave. Yeah. Microwave is alien make. I think your mom was crazy. No, she's not crazy. She's just like, yeah, she was just, I don't know. I think she believed, you know, it's kind of like those like Facebook posts, you know, that moms check and they just like, oh my god, this XYZ causes cancer. I don't know, like, I don't know, scrunchies cause cancer. Yep, same here. See, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Like my mom is not crazy. She just, I think she just heard some weird rumors and I can't relate. What, Ketsuya? Don't betray me now. What the heck? My mom told me not to stare either. Yeah, so I either stare or like stand in front of the microwave and wait for my food. Like my mom would just tell me not to do that and just like duck. Oh my god. Wait. All aboard the microwave oven craze. Oh my god. Everything goes back to the microwave. Yeah, I think she's just she's an overprotective mom. No, she was just like misinformed mom in some sense. Like her friends would also, like, literally my friends would tell me the same. They would be like, yeah, my mom told me not to stand in front of the microwave and not to look at it too much too. Yeah, exactly. Hi Chloe. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the TV is another story. They tell me to get back. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, like, which by the way is like not true. But yeah, my mom would just tell me to like, no, oh, don't look at the TV like so up close. Like, get away. It's freaking insane. Okay. Okay, so yeah, microwave blasting uranium. Anyway, here's the deal. So this sounds like science fiction, yes, but it's actually not. So there actually do exist a portable microwave transmitter, such as, you know, these, which potentially cause tissue damage in the brain. What's interesting is that these devices can be small enough to be put in a suitcase and can shoot microwaves from a far distance. And they can even shoot them through solid barriers such as walls. And it's not something that's super new or advanced. Countries like the US, China, and Russia have been developing these devices for over 50 years. Another interesting fact is that microwave transmitters have another function. They can be used to collect data from phones or computers. So, one aspect of this theory is that microwave transmitters may have been used by spies to steal information, not harm people. And it's just that the negative symptoms are a side effects caused by the device itself. However, even though this is one of the most compelling theories, there are still some problematic aspects. For example, based on our current understanding of microwaves, it would usually cause some kind of burn or burning sensation on the target's skin before it would start to damage brain tissue. And the victims of Havana Syndrome mostly reported hearing intense sound, but have not reported having any burns on their body or any sensation of like burning on their skin. Some experts have pointed out that there is research being done to use microwaves to damage brain tissue without burning the outside skin, but so far there just hasn't been any successful device developed, at least not in the US. It could still be the case that the technology was successfully and secretly developed elsewhere, such as in Russia or China, and no one knows about it because it's confidential. It's a national secret. Okay, so the third theory is... Wait, let me just read some of the chats. Oh no, microwave knows my Google history. Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, it's just used to extract information, and this was an unfortunate side effect. Okay, so the third theory is that the Havana Syndrome was caused by an unidentified new weapon. Aliens. No, I'm kidding. It's not. Basically, since there are some problematic aspects about the ultrasonic weapon or microwave weapon theory, the idea is that a completely new technology altogether was developed and used on, US government officials. This is a theory that was raised by a group of Canadian diplomats and their families who are stationed in Havana. So this is actually the Canadian embassy in Havana. So when the first cases of Havana Syndrome happened, these families filed a lawsuit against the Canadian government, alleging that it was slow in responding to their complaints about various health issues, such as severe nosebleeds and cognitive difficulties. Toronto-based law firm Waddell Phillips, representing the plaintiffs, stated that the claim that the individuals are clearly victims of a form of attack involving novel weaponry or methods. So the Canadian government is currently defending itself against the lawsuit because the families and the victims are, very set on getting, some form of compensation. Unfortunately, there is officially no hard evidence to suggest any weapon at all caused the Havana Syndrome. According to director of the CIA, William Burns, which is fucking ironic. An ironic name considering that microwave theory. So William Burns said that there is still no evidence that there is a large coordinated attack on US government personnel by a foreign entity such as Russia or China, and still no hard evidence that a mechanism or any device was ever used to cause the Havana Syndrome. It's also possible that Director Burns won't publicly accuse any government without being 100% sure, but only time will tell if any new evidence will be found to prove that high-tech weapons or high-tech weapon was the cause of the Havana Syndrome. Okay, and then there's the next theory. So in 2019, Israeli and Canadian researchers published a report suggesting a hypothesis that approximately 24 Canadian diplomats and their families might have been excessively exposed to insect spray as a potential cause of Havana Syndrome. During that period, Cuba was conducting intensive spraying activities to combat the Zika virus that comes from these motherfuckers, the mosquitoes. So they were actually conducting these activities to combat the Zika virus. However, those affected have expressed concerns that the report raises additional inquiries instead of, providing definitive answers. Cuba has denied any allegations of deliberate attacks related to the syndrome. So this was the theory that, maybe, the Canadian government was just like causing it by, battling the Zika virus. That comes from mosquitoes. Mosquitoes! No, okay. Oh my god, I fucking hate these guys. Look at it. Look how terrible it is. Also, they don't really contribute anything to the ecosystem. They can just like go and die. And it's fine. And it's gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna survive. Mosquitoes, those damn hell spawns. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, now the next theory. So according to a 2018 review conducted by Jason, I don't know how else to pronounce it, but I think it's Jason. So this is a group of scientific advisors that has been meeting since the Cold War. Many individuals affected by Havana Syndrome reported hearing peculiar sounds prior to experiencing symptoms. That is what the report says. So these sounds ranged from clicks and loud noises to whirring and the sound of rolling marbles. Surprisingly, Jason's analysis of audio recordings led them to conclude that the most probable source of these sounds were, these guys, which is called the Indies short-tailed crickets. Yeah, ew, bugs. It's a coop. So it is important to note that Jason did not attribute the crickets themselves as the cause of the illness. Rather, they suggested that the noise could be explained by the presence of the crickets itself, like themselves. So this explanation fails to account for cases where US officials heard similar noises and fell ill while traveling abroad. Because yeah, again, these crickets aren't really like around everywhere. There are like specific areas where this type of cricket is like breeding or just lives in an ecosystem. Anyway, so Jason also put forth an alternative theory regarding the cause of these symptoms, suggesting a quote psychogenic illness, and this theory suggests that that mental stressors can manifest as physical symptoms, although it has been subject to skepticism and rejection over the years. And the term mass psychogenic illness is used to describe a phenomenon in which a group of individuals simultaneously experiences illness without any identifiable physical or environmental cause. So think the dancing plague, right? Like that was one of the prominent examples of mass psychogenic illness. For instance, individuals who have a fear of being poisoned may feel nauseous even though they are in good health. Also, another good example is like pregnancy, right? Like some people, let's say, there's a couple and like the wife is pregnant and then the husband suddenly starts feeling similar symptoms. They kind of share symptoms. I wouldn't say it's psychogenic, like mass psychogenic illness, but it's kind of similar, right? Like you share the symptoms. However, those diagnosed with Havana Syndrome, numbering around 200, argue that their symptoms resemble those of a concussion and reject suggestions that the condition is psychological in nature. Furthermore, the notion that Havana Syndrome sufferers are deliberately feigning illness, known as malingerers, quote unquote malingerers, I don't know, that was the term, has been largely dismissed. This is due to the fact that the affected individuals comprise a motivated group, many of whom desire to return to work despite their doctors advising them to stay home. So it would kind of argue, it would be contradictory to like, oh, they're feigning illness to not go to work. No, it was the opposite. They were actually insistent that we want to work, we want to continue working, and this is preventing me from working. But, they actually didn't want to stay home. They kept coming back. The patients had years of experience being in stressful jobs and they were performing well in those stressful jobs, so this wouldn't make sense. So the next theory is about neurological disorders. Functional neurological disorders are conditions in which neural pathways are disturbed or altered, leading to symptoms such as pain, loss of motor control, sensory problems, language difficulties, fatigue, and more. And then Dr. Robert Ballo, a neurology professor at UCLA, explains that the complex nature of the brain, with its vast network of neural connections, can result in certain malfunctions. I mean, like any machine, quote unquote machine, right? Like there is billions of connections in our brain, and just one faulty connection can cause, a lot of symptoms. So the Russian security services were known for, like during the Cold War, to flood the US embassy in Moscow with electromagnetic radiation, and they concentrated microwaves and electronic pulses against the embassy in an attempt to eavesdrop against US typewriters, computers, and conversations. This type of thing has been going on for a long period of time, and we have come a long way since the Cold War in terms of surveillance and weapons technology, of course, but you know, it still could happen. So on the side note, this is actually absolutely real, and I'm not pulling your leg. Like this is an example of a Russian covert listening device, and it's called, I'm not kidding, it's called The Thing, or the Great Seal Bug. Given that this comes from the World War II era, so 1940s, 1930s, 40s, but you can see that they were trying to pull that shit back then. So who's to say they're not doing it again now and not causing people to actually, you know, sustain neurological damage. Well, there are various conspiracy theories surrounding the Havana Syndrome, including speculations that malfunctioning eavesdropping devices such as, The Thing, you know, there are a few concrete answers regarding the responsible parties, the exact cause of the syndrome, and the reasons why North American officials may be the targets, if indeed they are being targeted. So what is currently being done? In March 2023, Politico released an article revealing that Wayne State University received $750,000 grant from the US Army to research the project, for a research project. So the study involved exposing 48 ferrets to RF waves while comparing the effects with a control group of ferrets. The objective of the project, as stated by the Department of Defense, was to develop and evaluate a novel laboratory animal model that could simulate mild concussive head injuries similar to those encountered by embassy personnel in Havana, so by the Havana Syndrome. Additionally, Political's report mentioned that the US Department of Defense had recently conducted experiments on non-human primates involving the use of the same waves, so RF waves. As a response to these findings, PETA, an animal rights organization, these fuckers, called upon the Pentagon to cease live animal testing associated with Havana Syndrome. And that is actually it. That is all that's being done. And honestly, we don't have an answer. There's no answer to like what caused the Havana Syndrome. Yes, there are multiple theories, some of them more compelling than the others, but we don't have a definitive answer to that yet. And that is it. Also, totally Russia having like some kind of ultrasonic weapon. I hate PETA. Pentagon, the most federal shape. Yes. And that is it. Also, okay. As a closing, to end this case, let me just show you guys something. Can I show you guys something? So, or actually, I can switch back to the chill music. That is it. That is it for this case. But, you know, like anything, like any case, any weird case that I have. Actually, no, that was, it's been a while, but do you guys remember that stream where I showed you the thumbnails by Intan-kun that almost got me cancelled? Like, would have gotten me cancelled. Those were like rejects. I do have... wait. I still can't believe I was tricked into believing that PETA was ever a good thing. I feel so guilty. Hey, no, you're not the only one. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have in this case. But we still don't know. So the attacks are happening, and you know, a lot of the theories, or like a lot of the investigation is kind of like side-eyeing China or Russia, and so the unused thumbnails. Okay, so Intan-kun strikes back, and I was just like, dude, we can't use this. We cannot use this. We can't use these thumbnails because they're gonna get me cancelled. Of the wedding thumbnails. The wedding thumbnails were great, but this is like another level. Okay, so Okay, so here's another example of like what would get me cancelled. Wait, I have to like... This was one. Bloopers. Thumbnail blooper time. This is one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, that's yeah, this would get me cancelled. Like, come on. They would come after me. This was one. And I have another one. It does look cool though. Oh my, that is perfect. And then we have the second one. That was its variation. Oh my god. I think the other one is my favorite, but oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god. Oh, the blaster. This one is great. I have to say, this one is like fucking great. I should have used this one, but you know, for very clearly for reasons that are very clear in this thumbnail, I would be cancelled. But glorious, Intanken strikes. It's gonna be hunting season for Sona when the Kremlin comes. When the Kremlin comes knocking. I do like this one too. This one is like also great. Just like say blaster, but like I'm like, no, we can't do this. Oh my god. Oh god. No, but okay, I have to like this is like fucking perfect. This is perfect. This one too. This one too, but it's just like, come on. Oh my gosh, they're so perfect. Oh god. Oof. I got some good laugh. Also, I didn't show you guys the actually, remember Denver International Airport? The other, you know, the other case, the conspiracy case. I have some good ones too for that one, because like I got some like I forgot to do it. Okay, so when we had when I was like talking about the Denver International Airport conspiracy theory, I do have a couple of I completely forgot about the blooper, you know, blooper screenshots. I do have some from Intanken. And I was just like, god damn, people are gonna, Lucifer is gonna come after us. This was one. What? Wait. This is one of the oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. It's just like beams, eye beams. So that's one. That's one. This was like slightly different angle, but also like, holy fuck. Fabian Barchard, what? Are you afraid to say my name? No, I'm not. So that's one, that's two. So this is one, this is two. And I think the third one is like the fucking best. This one is the third one. I cannot, oh my god. Put the cigarettes on the horse, maybe. Laser horse, no, my favorite one, I think my favorite one's this one. It's so good. I'm like, why? These were perfect. No, but I used one of them. No, I did use another one. I guess I could try the other one. Like I could try the laser one. So good, man. Oh my god, oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, the Havana Syndrome ones are good. This is my favorite. Thank you, Intanken, from making these thumbnails. These are just great. I have to like change I think I have to use the one with like laser-eyed horse. Maybe I'm gonna use this one. This is like great for that case. Okay. I might actually change the thumbnail for this case to this one. Because it's just like so good. Oh my god. Oh, okay, that was a good laugh. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I hope you enjoyed the case. Yes, it was a little bit shorter than you know, than my usual cases, but I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll definitely be back with some more cases next week. Conspiracy Chronicles, the you know, piss stone that will give you immortality. I will explain. And I don't have the schedule for the next week yet. There will definitely be a hangout on Patreon. So instead of a regular like true crime stream, there's gonna be a hangout for Patreon members. Well, for Platinum, Ruby, and Diamond, I believe. And we're gonna play some games, but I will stream it. So there's gonna be a stream. And what else? Katsuya, $10. Thank you so much. This is for Intan-kun. Well, intern, just intern, but I just pronounced that Intan-kun. This is for Intan-kun for that amazing thumbnails. Intan-kun is gold. Thank you so much, FEARSONA, for the stream. Stay safe and healthy. You guys too. I hope you guys have a good day. Well, I'm not finishing the stream yet. I don't have the schedule planned yet. I will be taking like 1 or 2 days off, so there's not gonna be a stream. I might come back with some scary stories on VStream or something else on VStream. We'll see. Maybe karaoke, maybe something else. But there's gonna be a stream on VStream, and then there's gonna be some streams here on YouTube. Obviously, Patreon hangout, Conspiracy Chronicles stream, and then I'll see. Maybe like an additional challenge stream. We'll see. Okay. Respect, yay. A stone covered in piss, or a stone that pisses. No, actually a stone made of piss, that's the thing. Stop being on FEARSONA. No, that's not, see, I'll explain. It's made of your piss. The end of the explanation. That stone is made of your piss. Okay, that is it. Thank you so much for today. Just make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications if you liked the content, if you like my content and you want to be notified whenever I show up in my little dark weird corner of the internet. Stay safe out there, always lock your doors and windows, bury your hexes. Until the next time. Bye!